Please tell how to tune the guitar. You tune them with these things. EADGBE. That's the tuning. You just twist these up or down. That's it. There you go. If that's a helpful answer, please like the stream. Yeah, acoustic guitar hurts my hands. Not a helpful answer. It's the same thing. You're funny. They are different guitars, but they tune the same way. Learned it 10 years ago. That's when I started, at least. Thank you. Thanks for the hearts. This is a song. This is Darn That Dream by Jimmy Van Heusen. No, I don't know Snowman by Sia. Alright, Darn That Dream, Jimmy Van Heusen, Jazz Standards Morning. This is Lance. Welcome to the Lance Guitar Channel. If you like what I'm doing here, please like the stream. If you like it, subscribe, whatever. I'm going to play another Jimmy Van Heusen tune called Like Someone in Love. Great song. Great question. I will answer that when I'm done with this song. Thanks for the question, Nuri Craig 335. Like Someone in Love by Jimmy Van Heusen. All right, we got a great question from Nuri Craig 3335. Any tips for memorizing jazz solos and for improv? Excuse me. Okay, memorizing jazz solos, listen to the record a bunch. Just listen to that one solo over and over and over again. Try and sing it. When I was really learning this stuff, I would wake up in the morning, listen to it once while I was making my coffee. While I was having lunch, I'd listen to it once. And then before I went to bed, I'd listen to it once or twice. So always be listening to that solo, then try and sing it. Once you start singing it, try and take note of the articulations and the very important parts of that solo. Like, what lines do you like the best? Or why do I like the way this feels? What's my favorite part, So sing the solos, listen to the recording a lot. That's how I would try to do it at first. And then for figuring it out, just sing it. Try not to do it with the recording, but sing it and try and figure it out. That will help you really memorize it. And for improv in jazz, I would say, most of it is about voice leading. For example, if you have a G minor 7 to a C7 to an F major 7, it's a 2-5-1 in the key of F. So the important part about that is the 7-3 resolution. So for example, if we do shell voicings of the G minor and the C, so we have G, B flat, and F. And then we also have C, B flat, and E. So these two notes go down, and then they resolve to the A and the E of the F major 7. So it sounds like this. Right? So if you outline those things, the voice leading is what makes it a jazz line. As opposed to more of a rock thing that I answered yesterday on my stream. It's not necessarily avoiding the harmony, but it's not taking it into as much of an account. So I would work on the voice leading of the 7-3 resolution, and I would also work on, and that kind of goes for other things like extensions. Like if we started on the D of the G minor, and then we went down to the D flat, which is the flat 9 of the C7. If you use the same kind of concept, so what if I outline that? So just that one simple change will take your jazz lines to the next level. Because really what it is you're outlining all these extra chords, and you're following the voice leading. And what makes bebop so special, this is a really important point. If you know this, it will change everything. Bebop is all about small intervals. Modern jazz is all about these big wide things, but bebop is about kind of sneaking it in, like, how do you make that melodic? So anyway, does that answer your question, Nuri Craig 3335? Thank you for asking a question. If I helped you out, please like the stream. Any other questions are much appreciated, by the way. Here's Girl from Ipanema. Stopping this song really to help answer some questions in the chat, y'all. Okay, so let's answer. I'm gonna go back to Nuri Craig's question because they are confused. Yes, thank you. Little confused about the voicing for the C7. You were saying target the 7th and the 3rd, or okay. So I would like you to clear that up a little bit and tell me what exactly you're confused on. Because so for the C7, I'm just saying that there's this voice leading in it, like. So I'm not saying you have to target those notes, but I am saying that small movement is the reason why that chord progression is special. Therefore, if you outline it, it'll make it sound more like jazz. Because jazz is all about outlining the voice leading and being clever in very small intervals. So, like like I can hear that. You know, what about? You know, ooh, there you go. Like, you know, that's what I'm really, it's all about outlining the small things. All right, Randy California, can you explain how to use the half tone, whole tone scale in a 12-bar blues? Well, gee, Randy California, that is a good question. It has been a minute since I've used the whole tone scale, so let's see if I even know it. I would just use it for color. Yeah, no problem, Nuri Craig. Anytime you got a question, go ahead and leave it in the chat. If that helped you out, please like the stream. So the whole tone scale, I would say it's probably good to use that over a chord like B7. Let's take an F blues, all right? Randy California, type if you're in the chat. All right, so whole tone scale. Let's talk about a B whole tone scale over F blues. Why am I choosing B? Because that is a perfect spot to transition to the 4 chord, because we have F7 to B flat. Even just taking those 2 chords, how do you get to B flat? So you get there from F7, right? No problem, Randy California. Like the stream if this helps you out, man. So if you want to get there, it's a great chord to use it over because it has a lot of tension. So like, let's say I'm playing over F7. Like, see, that works. Just like lead right into that. So I would really use that for tension and release, you know? Like if you have an altered chord or something, the D7 would be another good spot, maybe on E flat, like. You know, so I would really use the whole tone scale over altered chords, and I would use them as transitions. I mean, you can use it kind of on a static chord because F7 is a 5 chord, right? So if you were to use that, it'll probably sound chill. Actually not chill, it'll probably sound pretty cool. You know? You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Randy? You digging that? Does that make sense, Randy? So there you go. I would use the whole tone scale in moments of transition. A blues is a good place to use it because it's all dominant chords, right? Having dominant chords is good, so you can add a bunch of tension on them. I would say you can start it from the flat 9. You can start it from the sharp 5. Sorry, not sharp 5, flat 5. You might as well start from the sharp 5 too. Let's see, does it work on C7? Yeah, works to me. So you can start, that's how you use the altered, the whole tone scale. The half tone, whole tone scale. Is that the half tone, whole tone scale? I don't know. I thought that was maybe that is just the whole tone. But so anyway, start it on the 1. The 1 will work because it's a symmetrical scale, right? The 1 will start, the 1 will work, the flat 5 will work, the sharp 5 will work, and let's see if the flat 7 works. So, and use it over altered chords to create some more tension. Ooh, I like that one. Woo! That is how you use the whole tone scale over it. Have you ever looked into the Barry Harris diminished scale? I've looked into it a little and learned some really great chords, but it is a lot to understand. Definitely don't fully understand. All right, let me break it down for you. I'm going to give you the 2-second spiel of the Barry Harris thing. So the Barry Harris thing is, if it's the 1 chord, it's the 1 chord. If it's any other chord, it's a diminished chord, which a diminished chord is just the 5, 7, flat 9. So in the key of C, you know, let's take these Barry Harris voicings, right? Sell me that telly neck. No. Okay, so this is a C6, right? These are the voicings for the C major scale. You know a C major scale, C major bebop scale. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna harmonize it. Every chord tone, the bass note, that is in a C6 triad, or C6, that's not triad, there's 4 notes. A C6 chord is gonna be an inversion of C. So for example, That's C in the bass. Here's E in the bass, G in the bass, A in the bass looks like A minor, and then back to C in the bass. Now, everything else in there is just going to be diminished. That's it. And that will create the sound of like 1, 5, 1. So here we go. Let's go up the neck. Actually wrong. So that's how you harmonize things in a scale. And there's different voicings for that. There's the drop 2, drop 4, drop 3, and you can do them all over the neck in every key, and that's how it works. And then, so after that, it has the borrowing chords, which means that the diminished chords you're playing also have the diminished chords, or also have the notes of other diminished chords. So it basically means that you can harmonize them in all these different ways and get a lot of movement in your playing. That is the very basic explanation of Barry Harris, to my understanding. There's obviously some people who are great at that. If you really want to check out Barry Harris, check out The Labyrinth of Limitations. That guy is great, and he really does it on guitar, so really helpful. Labyrinth of Limitations. And then there's this channel called Today I Learned from Barry Harris. TILF Barry Harris. Nice Hokusai frame. They are actually, I forgot the name of them. Where are they? They're, I can't remember the name, but they're not Hokusai. They're not Hokusai. They're something else. Sorry. They do start with an H. I forget the name. Make her the cutest that I've ever seen. Give her 2 lips with roses and clovers, and tell her that her lonesome nights are over, Mr. Sandman. I'm so alone, don't got nobody to call my own. Please turn on your magic beam, Mr. Sandman, bring me, Mr. Sandman, bring me, Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Woo, Mr. Sandman. Learned that from the Andrews sisters. I don't know who wrote that. Someone is making a lot of money off that song. Thank you, Joy Likes Potatoes. Hi, saying hi back. If you like that song, please like the stream. Tell me how you're doing. Ask a guitar-related question. Would love to help you out. Practicing the Telecaster this morning, trying to get my cobwebs off my hands. The Claw, Jerry Reed, great song. Great song, requires some practice on my end. You know, drop it in the chat if you got a request, drop it in the chat if you got a guitar-related question. It's a good morning. Happy Friday, everybody, to all 7 of you who are tuning in. You know, really happy to have you all here. Thank you so much, UVWLZ. UVWLZ. You're a royal, thank you. Let's see, I gotta work on my stuff. Man, I've been playing a lot with just my fingers recently and going back to my roots. So let's see if that works out. Love. Great song. Learned that from Nat King Cole. All right, y'all. Any guitar-related questions? Feeling a little sore today. Might hang it up a little early. Other than that, great to have you here. If you enjoy what I'm doing, please like the stream. Check out my videos. Thanks so much for checking this out. All guitar-related content on my channel. Music-related content. Lance-related content. I think I'm just going to work on playing some lines this morning. I'm feeling a little sluggish, so it's just going to be what it'll be, Any questions are appreciated. Oh, I don't understand this language. I'm so sorry. Tommy, hi, how's it going? If you put that in English, I'll be happy to answer it. Someone translate that. The major scale. So I'll tell you all about it. I basically just play the major scale or the minor scale. Okay, I'll stop. I'm just soloing. Tommy, I basically just play the major scale or the minor scale, and then I add embellishments with the alter scale or a Lydian dominant or the pentatonic scale. And what I mean by that is when these chords pass, like F minor to B flat 7, I just highlight their extensions. So I go, are you adding chromatic leading notes? All the time. I literally like to do that. In my head, I'm thinking like do da do ba do da da ba do da da ba do ba do ba do way do hey do ba do ba do ba do ba do do ba do ba do ba do ba do ba do do de. So I'm really thinking like, and then I just outline those things. Does that make sense? Thanks, Millie Bailey. Thanks, Millie Bailey. I'll answer some questions in a second. Okay, let's answer these questions, guys. We're all about teaching here at the Lance channel. I don't teach very often, but okay, am I using chromatic leading notes? Yes, I am using chromatic leading notes. Love it. Thank you, Millie Bailey. I've heard a good way to highlight changes is to lead to the third of the upcoming chord, if that makes sense. Yes, it does, because the important part of a 2-5-1, hello T Cotiver, I don't know how to pronounce that, is all about the leading tone. So for example, I used this example earlier on the stream. If you are playing a G minor 7 to a C7 to an F major 7, the B flat and the F of the G minor will voice lead down to the B flat and the E, exactly what you're talking about, of the C7, and then that will voice lead down to the A of the F major 7. So if you outline those tones, those are the guide tones, you will have a nice 2-5-1. For example, there you go. Or, oh, that was a little 9. Autumn Leaves is a perfect example of this. Yes, hello T Caviar, you totally get it. But anyway, so that's how you would really work on a jazz tune. If that helped out, please like the stream. Tommy Massia, in which tonality? I was playing in D flat there. So, I mean, it doesn't matter, I just transpose it to the key. But so, for example, if we take our our F major, G minor 7 to C7 to F major 7, and maybe to a D7 at the end, a 1-6-2-5, 2-5-1-6, right? What I would just do is I would just outline those changes. So, for example, here the G minor, I'm like, and then C altered, F to D7. Can't hold it together today. All right, does that answer your question? Does that answer your question? I feel like, it's kind of a complicated topic, but, there you go. Keep tipping for basics too. Ask any questions, guys. That's the only reason how I'm going to tip. I don't know what to tell you otherwise. What's your favorite way to play modes? Play the major scale. Modes are purely conceptual. I honestly think it's harder to think in modes. Just play the major scale. If you get a D minor, and it's in the key of C, don't think Dorian. Just think I'm playing over D minor in the key of C, and I'm just gonna play the C major scale. It really helps, at least to me. Good. I love the mood of your live. Thank you, Tommy. If you really like what's happening, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Tommy. Probably Have You Heard is my favorite Pat Metheny song. that telly sounds great. Was thinking about getting one or getting a hollow body. Not sure though. I like the telly, man. The telly is less of a projection about who you must be. I think I have a nice hollow body. I have an L5. I love that guitar, but it makes me play like a jazz guitar player, and this lets me express myself in many different modes. I can play country, I can play jazz, I can play avant-garde stuff. I would really check out the telly if you don't have one, and that, frankly, much cheaper. You look like someone who owns a Telecaster. Thank you. Great. I don't even own this guitar. This is a friend's guitar. Well, that's pretty funny. Thanks, man. Great roast. You look like someone who owns a telly. That is funny, man. Glenn Frank, you're my new favorite viewer. Are you making use of shell voicings mainly, or do you like to play the entire chord, including the fifth? It depends is my answer. I don't really use shell voicings too often, unless I'm like comping, I guess. I just kind of outline tones in the chord. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, I guess I do kind of use them. I like shell voicings, but I also like these intervallic things. You should use both, basically. Voice lead both is my answer. Like, here's a shell voicing version of like a G minor to C7. See, but I want to break it immediately. I do this a lot. Sometimes it's just random triads. It's really, I see the staff in my head and I lead it like that. That's what I'm thinking about, really. Yeah. Oh God, thinking about stuff to play here. Let's see, what have I been working on? I don't know. Shell voicings are easier, but you'll get away from them eventually. Luis Del Rio, Luis Bonfa. All right, y'all, I'm going to move on to the fingerstyle portion. Back to the fingerstyle portion. Playing some classical music now. Damn, hybrid picking cool as heck. It's really hard, man. I've really tried to work on my hybrid picking, but it's very difficult. I've lost some of my chops with it, to be honest. But it is the way to do it if you can. The pinky is just, it's really silly. It doesn't work very well. Here, I'll try and play this classical piece. This is for Glenn Frank for telling me I'm someone who looks like I own a Telecaster. I'm going to try to hybrid pick this classical tune. Sometimes I use the thumb like that, but not too often. we got a great question from Hello T. Cotiver. Hello T. Cotiver. If you had to give a ratio of how much time should be spent drilling theory versus learning songs, it's a trick question because how you learn theory is by learning songs, my friend. If you have all these places to apply theory, you will remember it. So learn more songs. Don't really drill theory. Learn songs, and the theory will come to you, and you will start to understand it. Bam! How about that? But you didn't expect that answer. It's mixed with fingerstyle. Yes, it is. All right, I'm gonna play with the thumb a little bit just because we got a little bit of a request to be a little bit of a West guy today. Do you prefer the Telly or 335? Depends. I have a 347 actually. It's a 335 with an L5 neck. Most times I prefer the Telly. Learning songs boring than drilling like it. Will it work? I don't understand. I think most days I prefer the Telly. No strat low, sorry, not for me. Alright, y'all, that's about my time for today. Thanks so much for stopping in. If you haven't subscribed, please like the stream, subscribe to my channel. Got new music coming out on January 23rd. Other than that, got nothing else for you. I will definitely be back on here tomorrow. I'm trying to live stream every day, new content every day. Please join the channel. Thank you all so much. If you enjoyed it, thank you. Really appreciate it. Bye, y'all.